Hi, you guys. Happy Monday. Today's video for Algebra 1, we're going to be talking some more about quadratic word problems and kind of some notation revolving around that, and still reviewing things that we've talked about so far in Chapter 8 from before spring break, too. So here's a couple questions on the for you to start with. At this point in time, pause the video, kind of ask yourself and think through these questions to the best of your ability, and then when you are ready to see the answers, go ahead and unpause. So the quadratic function h of d equals negative 0.05d squared plus 1.5d can be used to represent the path of a football kicked 30 yards down the field. What does the d in the function stand for? Well, I'm assuming the d in the function stands for distance. We want to be specific about what kind of distance. They were talking about yards in the question, so I'm going to put in parentheses yards because we always want to keep units in mind. So question number 2, what does h of d stand for? So h of d, remember, in this equation, it's almost like you're writing y equals blah, blah, blah. So if the distance is your x value, basically, h of d is your y value. So in this case, the y value is the height, because that's why they're using h. That would be my guess, right? And there's actually no units as of right now. I would think height would probably be yards also, but since they don't specify it, I'm going to leave the units off. So h of d is the height of the football versus d is the distance. Okay, so remember, d is kind of like your x value. H of d is like your y value. If I asked you to find h of 0, what does that mean? So that means I'm plugging in 0 for d, right? So if I'm finding h of 0, I'm saying at a distance of 0 yards, what is the height? Okay, that's how you would say that in words. So it says actually find h of 0. So h of 0 is equal to, I'm going to plug in 0 into this equation. Okay, 0 squared is just 0. 0 times that negative 0.05 is also 0, right? So once I actually go to calculate it, I get h of 0 equals 0, meaning that at a distance of 0 yards away, the football is a height of 0, which makes sense. That's kind of where it starts, right? Like the football hasn't been kicked yet at that point in time. If I asked you to find h of d equals 0, what does that mean? That means essentially you're plugging in 0 into the entire equation and saying, okay, what is the distance of the football if the height is at 0? So like, for example, the answer to this might be the answer from number 3, okay? Like if the height of the football is at 0 yards, then the distance is probably at 0 yards. But here's what I'm thinking. If it's a quadratic and it's a negative for the a value, my guess is, yeah, it starts at 0, 0 because you haven't kicked the football yet. But once you kick the football, at some point, the football is going to come back and hit the ground again. So I bet there's 2 answers. I bet one of them is 0. And then we have to kind of try to figure out what's the distance it gets kicked before it hits 0 again, before it hits the ground. Okay. All right, here's what I'd like you guys to do next. Read through questions 5 through 8. And what I would like you to do, like number 5 is asking you to fill in the table shown to the left. Use a calculator, take a second and fill in the table. Just get some practice calculating those numbers. When you're ready, go ahead and unpause the video and we will talk about these answers. All right, so I actually have the answers already calculated. I decided to round to 1 decimal place because I felt like since the distance was rounded to 1 decimal place, that seemed appropriate. But the other reason I did that is question number 5 specifically asks to round to the nearest tenth. So use the quadratic function in the story problem to calculate the height of the ball as it travels downfield and fill out the table shown to the left. So don't forget our equation is h of d is equal to negative 0.05 d squared. And I just need to make sure I want to remember I write it down right. Plus 1.5d. Okay, so hopefully you were plugging those in. If you got different numbers than me, make sure when you plugged in for D that you squared D first and then multiplied by negative 0.05. So if you got different numbers, you might have accidentally multiplied first and then squared it. So just a thought, okay? What is the maximum height of the football? Okay, well, the maximum height looks like this number right here. Now, here's the difference with this one in comparison to the word problem we talked about last week on Thursday. The word problem last week on Thursday, when we tried to find the tallest point, the numbers on either side didn't decrease by the same amount. But notice this side there's 10.9 and this side it's 10.9. That makes me extremely confident that the maximum height is exactly 11.3. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense because it's kind of going down at the same rate on either side, because then you go to 10 and 10, 8.4 and 8.4 and so on, okay, versus the one that we did last week on Thursday. It didn't go down the same rate on both sides, which led us to believe that there was a slightly higher point somewhere. Number 7, how far down the field has the football traveled when it reaches its maximum height? Well, that's the x value that goes with it, so we'll say 15 yards. Okay, so after traveling 15 yards down the football field, it reaches a height of 11.3. From questions 6 and 7, what did we just find? We just found the vertex. We just found the x comma y of the vertex of this quadratic. All right, let's keep going. Graph the points you found in the table on the graph provided. And I know it says on the back of this worksheet, you guys obviously don't have the worksheet, but just on a piece of paper, graph your points. One thing I want you to do is make sure you're labeling. So on the x-axis, you should have that distance. And then on the y-axis, you should have height, okay? So always make sure you're labeling, especially since I'm a stats teacher. That's a big deal, right? It's a big deal in science. It's a big deal anytime you're making a graph. You want to make sure you're labeling what are we talking about. All right, so here's the picture you should get. A real nice quadratic. It looks very symmetrical on both sides. Now, some of the points aren't perfect on the graph I have on here, right? You just kind of estimate and do the best you can. So question 10 asks, based on the graph, how far down the field has the ball traveled when it hits the ground again? So it looks like it hits the ground again 30 yards down the field. And when it asks, what did we just find? We just found an x-intercept. Okay, so what also we just found actually is we also just found h of d equals 0, like we talked about on that first slide. We're saying, okay, when the y value is 0, what's the x value that goes with it? We already knew this one right here, 0, 0. That was pretty easy to figure out. But in a quadratic, usually there's a second one that's kind of hiding in there as well. This is going to be a focus of chapter 9, is how to find these types of numbers, both using a graph, but then also we're going to get into kind of algebraic methods too. All right, so here's an example I want you guys to try. I want you to, on a piece of paper, pause the video, try this question out, and then when you are ready, unpause it. All right, so number 11, a softball is being thrown between two players. The ball follows a path in which the height in feet h is given by, and here's our equation, where t is the time in seconds elapsed since the ball left the first player's hand. Draw a sketch of the graph. So I'm going to start right there before I start doing anything. So that looks like vertex form, which is awesome because that's the easiest one for us to graph, right? We don't have to make a table like we had to previously because that was in standard form. The only way to graph standard form is to complete the square, which I did not want to complete the square with a negative 0.05 in the front. That would be kind of messy. Or make a table. And so thankfully, since this one's vertex form, I know that my vertex, right, this is left and right but backwards. So since that's -2, I'm going to go right 2 and up and down but normal. So I'm going to go right 2, up 11, and that's going to be where my vertex is at. Then I look at the a value. The a value in the front's -2. So remember our pattern, the 1, 3, 5, 7, which means -2 times 1 is -2, so down 2 over 1. -2 times 3 is -6, so down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And then -2 times 5 is -10. Now I know that goes off the graph, so I'm not going to actually plot the point for that. I just know that it's going off of the graph at this point. Now here's the deal though. That's what the graph of the quadratic is, right? But we're talking about a softball being thrown between two players. You can't go negative seconds in time right here. So my thought is based on the context, mathematically I can graph this, but based on the context, this part of the graph that I'm erasing right now doesn't exist. Okay? Same thing over here. Based on the context of the graph, it's not going to go further into the ground. Like that seems kind of weird. So that's something we're probably going to have to address in these next questions. So A asks, at what height was the ball released from the first player's hand? Well, it kind of seems like the first player's up here. So the ball was released at a height of 3 feet. So there's our first player. What is the maximum height reached by the ball? So we're talking about the vertex, right? So the maximum height is 11 feet. Now be careful because sometimes I'll ask how many seconds went by for the ball to reach its maximum height. Then your answer would be 2 seconds, right? So be careful with what questions are asking you and don't always assume it's just the vertex, okay? And then letter C, the second player caught the ball at the same height in which the first player released the ball. Okay, well, the first player released the ball right here. So this must be where the other player is at when they caught it. How much time elapsed until the ball was caught? Well, we started at 0 seconds, right? So it looks like 4 seconds. Okay, so a lot of this unit is going to be talking about quadratic word problems, things of that nature. Now, I know in this particular situation, I know you guys, and I know right now you're thinking, who throws a softball straight up in the air like that? My guess is, for example, I'm thinking about when you're practicing, like if you're a softball player or a baseball player, and you're practicing how to catch fly balls, right? Your coach will throw it straight up in the air, and you got to get your glove right in front of your face and make sure you're underneath the ball, you know? So that's kind of what I'm envisioning. So it's not just like, oh, you're playing catch in the backyard, because I doubt the graph would look like that if you were just playing catch with somebody, right? So, all right, so you guys, that's it for today. Once you watch the video, you're done. There's no homework assignment or anything tonight, but keep in mind there will be a homework assignment or two the rest of the week. So make sure that you're watching these videos. As soon as the video is done, if there's a homework assignment attached, make sure you complete that. Take a picture of your homework assignment completed, either if you did it on a blank sheet of paper, if you have a printer at home and you're able to print it out and do it, awesome, but I know not everyone does. And just take a picture of your homework assignment and submit it on the Google Classroom assignment so that I can make sure I give you guys credit for participation and making sure that we're all on board, okay? Don't forget, if you have questions, I've got office hours for about an hour and a half every day. So if you need anything, feel free to email me or stop by during office hours, all right? We'll talk soon.